Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the Lookout Podcast. I am with Sula Lookout Sam Vaughn, and this is great, man. It's an honor to have you in the Airstream because we had talked about it. It's always better, I think, to do it in Sula Peak Lookout with you in the tower, but it's kind of nice to get a little change up because I wanted to see kind of what my normal gig is,
Yeah, and it's super cool to finally be here and actually see the Airstream itself. Seen it a couple times in the videos, of course, and it just doesn't compare to actually being in it.
No,
it's super cool.
Yeah, a little better in person, man. Well, cheers. Thanks for joining me, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
Oh, man, always good to have you. Always good talking. Yeah, normal office, I guess what I would say, not normal gig, but yeah, it's a small little sucker, but it's surprisingly like the right amount of size, it feels like, huh?
Yeah, I think so, and I think kind of what you were showing me with your facilities just before this, it would be great for you to cart around, and you could stay in this while you were doing interviews if you had multiple lined up. It's like, oh, got a pretty good setup here for this.
Yeah, I've done it before. Like when I went over for the Man Gulch anniversary, the 75th last year. Ooh. Yeah, I just crashed in the sucker and towed it around with me. It's so nice because it's just small enough where I can park on like a city street, or parking lot or anything, and it takes up 2 spots, but just barely, so it's not so bad,
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, versus something that it was massive, and I was hunting around before. I got this thing passed down to me because I've mentioned before in my podcast that my great grandpa bought it brand new in '65 in Missoula.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, what my folks what my dad wanted to do with it, so I just kind of was staring at it one day when I was at his house, and I was like, "Hey, man, what are you doing with that thing?" He was kind of using it as a shed, so he was more than happy to let it go and help me fix it up. But I was looking for, they make these little tiny ones like Bambis that are almost half the size, or a Globetrotter, I think, is a real tiny Airstream. And I was like, oh, man, that'd be perfect. Super tiny. But it'd be almost too cramped, I think.
Yeah, it could be. And I'm having trouble, placing what those look like. I don't know if I've seen them before.
Yeah, it's almost a little silver bubble. Like it's
those.
Pretty tiny. Yeah, it's like half the size of this sucker. And and I don't think, this is really big right here. It's the whole nose of it is the dining area, where those other ones are kind of tucked in. They're more like a little booth, so it's a little tight squeeze. It'd be all right for me and you, but if I had more than just, one guest, it'd be a little tight. And then even during the 85th anniversary, since that, the futon over there, the big couch that folds out into a bed, if people were, a lot of the fellow from World War II, George Cross.
Yeah,
his daughter accompanied him. So if I didn't have any room for her, I don't know what she would have done, but she just hung out, and sat right next to where you're at, and then you sat on the futon for a little bit, and then same with the fellow from Vietnam. I guess he served in Korea too. So yeah, bit of a legend, old Tom, and great guy. And but his buddy who was accompanying him just kicked back on the couch and did some surfing on his phone, and so it works out good, man, so that people can hang, and it was raining a little bit too, so you got to hang out in the dry Airstream instead of being outside.
That is pretty nice too.
But back to you, my friend. How many seasons now up in Sula Peak Lookout?
So this is my 4th season up at Sula Peak.
Oh man,
it's been good.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, this one's been active too for as early as our fire season has come on. We've had a big lightning bust in southern end of the valley, and I guess it's gotten all the way up here too.
Yeah,
it's getting crazy that first night about a week ago now. And, we had 7 starts on Sula that night, 1 the next day or something like that. It's people running crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you really can tell too, because seemed like folks were kind of getting kegged up in Darby a minute there after the first wave of lightning busts.
For sure.
And for folks who don't know, lightning busts are lightning starts from a thunderstorm. So, got a few off that, but we've been getting enough moisture to kind of keep things at bay a little bit, at least giving the boots in the ground time to get on them before they go bananas.
Definitely. That's helped a lot with our guys down south, as we've had a lot of driving rains with the thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
So, you get 1/10 of an inch first, and it's like, wow, it's going to move slow. Except for we've had a couple that have notoriously overnight it's multiple acres or dozens of acres. Yeah,
that observation point. All of a sudden someone, I think it's my wife, who texts me hey, there's a fire up Lost Horse. And I was like, huh? And then, I think it was still pretty green out. We hadn't had a lot of rain at that point, but I was like, no way, we didn't have any weather to start it.
Right.
And of course it was human caused, I'm pretty sure. And then, I was down in Sula, I think, so I couldn't see it. And then I come around the corner, and all of a sudden it's like, holy cow.
Yeah, that's that was like 35 minutes later. It's like, oh, and it's 100 acres.
Yeah, like right away, and it was kind of creeping. It was at the base of the Bitterroots, and it's kind of creeping up, and folks who know, like once it gets in that timber and has that slope to help push it with the winds, like that's when it can be off to the races. But they're able to get around it and keep it, and I think enough infrastructure in there, a few roads and stuff probably helped, and they've been doing so much thinning in there, which has been great, and that kind of shows you, how the fuels mitigation in action,
Oh, absolutely. I think it takes so much intensity out of it. We were able to catch it,
Yeah, exactly.
that first day.
Yeah.
I mean, there might have been a little growth, but all the lines held, I believe, every day.
I think so, yeah.
Great. All right. Mission accomplished. Now we just got to
Yeah, totally. And
let this thing run its course.
yeah, and that lodge was right there too, and that poor guy just bought it and renovated it, so that would have been...
Wait, I didn't know about that. That sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh off
Poor
a renovation. Yeah, so he's probably stressing out, but yeah, they were able to save the lodge. I don't think it got too close. I mean, it was right next door, but
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, so that was good, and yeah, probably wouldn't be able to save that lodge if the fuels were like they were like just a few years ago,
Oh, certainly. And I mean, yeah, me and you both have seen some of the country around here that is just super thick still.
Yeah. Did you ever see that photo? And I think it was in like the album of like the history of Sula Ranger Station, and it showed like pre like 1910 or something, like before we started going full fire suppression. It was a cabin somewhere, and it shows like nature doing its thing. Fire gets introduced occasionally, and there was no encroachment on the cabin. The understory was really clean, and
Really?
it probably was getting grazed a little bit, but like maybe even just by elk at that point. I don't know if there was any cattle around that area or cows, but and then it shows like once we go in full suppression and aren't doing any of the fuel mitigation stuff we're doing now, and it was just like a jungle around that cabin. It was just like,
Whoa.
holy cow, like this
I
is
don't
a
know if
bad
I've ever
deal.
seen those couple of pictures, but that would be really interesting to see. And I know like multiple studies have been done, and there's a reason that we get a wilderness fire and somebody way above our pay grade is like, don't touch that.
Yeah.
I mean, one, safety, which is first and foremost, sure.
Yeah.
But two is just the kind of lesser known idea, especially by the general public. We need this to help clean up these areas.
Yeah,
and as long as
totally.
it's not endangering people or properties or anything like that, it's really necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, because this, everywhere pretty much, and we're starting to see it. That used to be, at least in my brain, growing up out here, that fire was a natural part of the landscape out here. But I mean, my friend Michael Gue, who's down in the Everglades, man, they're burning big chunks of that off every year, and it's coming back healthier. So it shows that like fire was even in that landscape. So it's kind of been everywhere, at least in the U.S. and I mean probably in the world, but. And the stories of the natives introducing fire.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's like it's been always kind of a part of our story, human story, and
Certainly.
I understand why we got scared off it, because fires in 1910 were just awful.
Yeah.
Burned down almost all of Wallace, and
Right.
killed a lot of people, and so freaked everybody out. But I think we're doing a better job of finding that middle ground where it's like not quite full suppression. Or not full suppression, but not like totally letting everything, just do what it's gonna do.
And it's so tough because even with that idea of like, well, we need this fire to help clean out the areas, that can blow up in your face.
Yeah.
If it gains intensity and makes huge pushes, and all of a sudden it's knocking on a neighborhood's door within a mile, and people are freaking out, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But I think proper suppression with a lot of education for the general public about defensible space. I mean, your spot is a great example of like, oh, okay, there's a lot of like very low intensity area around your house, even in the area that you are, where there's timber, there's sage, there's plenty of stuff that could burn.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But you have this knowledge already, so you and your wife can look at it and say, nah, we need to get rid of this. We need to clean up these trees. We need to limb this stuff over here.
Yeah, man.
I think that would help save a lot of places. But
Yeah. Put a little water to your grass too, keeping it green, like that helps. They talk about how much like a lawn could be a heat sink,
Oh, totally.
And like you said, man, like people don't really think about sagebrush being that big of a fuel, but it's dry pretty much all year round. And then like the spot where I'm at, where there's not a lot of housing, so like some of these sagebrush bushes are huge, like old growth things that are taller than me. You know, I'm about 6 foot, and there's one next to the Airstream. I'll show you when we get out. I mean, it's almost as tall. It might be even a little taller than the Airstream. It's huge, and I didn't know sage would get that big, but it all looks the same until you stand next to it, you know, because it just blends in like a bunch of bushes.
Oh yeah, from a distance you're like, yeah, sure, whatever, and then you get into it, you're like, ugh.
Like, holy shit, yeah, this is high level, you know, and it's thick, so it's hard to chop through, man, if you don't like maintain it, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
And we got this old hand-me-down DR like brush mower thing, and
oh, nice.
You know, the commercials are like going through like tall grass, and I was using that sucker on the sage, and whew, it was a hard-fought battle.
Giving it a run for its money.
Oh yeah, man, it choked on a few of them, and just like didn't have enough power to bring the blade around, so it'll just stall out. So I thought I killed it a few times, but it kept going.
Nice.
Yeah, knocked the belt off it, and thought I got black lung because there's so much like pollen on, you know, like sagebrush pollen on the thing. So like when you knock into one, it's just like this huge cloud goes over you.
Yeah, it's a dusty area, and a lot of folks don't know that about the area that we're in too. We've been getting a lot of tourism over the last few years because of a show that was shot here that got real popular, and we have a lot of people who will come up to the lookout even, and it's high desert up there, and a lot of folks are unaware of that, so they get up and there's like an eagle screech and it's 98 degrees, and they're like, where the fuck am I? What is this?
Yeah,
this is not what I was promised. Rattlesnake
snake over hissing at him.
Like, sorry, it's high desert. I know it's weird. Like, we are
yeah.
in the woods kind of, but we're also in like a weird Midwest or a Western movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly a good way to put it, man. You know, that's what it feels like, Clint Eastwood or, you know, any of those movies. And most people kind of picture more Arizona, New Mexico, and it's like, oh, Montana is very similar.
Yeah, weirdly, we have a lot of that, especially in the heat of the summer. It totally resembles that type of locale or biome.
Yeah, totally. And that's a good point with like the dusty kind of nature. And there's so much pollen that comes off these ponderosa too. And around this time of year, we're not getting a lot of wind and during the day or weather. Like even right now, I'm looking at the sapphires and they're like a little hazy. And I think a lot of people mistake it for smoke, but I think that's just a lot of the dust and stuff in the air just getting trapped in the valley, you know?
Yeah, I had some Palouse folks up from their mod who are staff in IA, and they've been a great help. They had knocked out a bunch of the lightning strikes that have started in my district. And they were up there the other day, just kind of, you know, we had a lightning bust, but nothing started, and they're kind of, well, we're on patrol today. I was like, well, come on up on the tower and look around. And that poor guy was tripping out after a while. He's like,
oh, really?
It looks like there's smoke right down there. And I was like, I know it looks like that, but we have the Bitterroot haze.
Yeah, the Bitterroot. Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Bitterroot haze.
When you have a gathering of pine trees, I don't know what it is. It looks like there's smoke pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, totally, man. I remember when I was jumping out of West Yellowstone, it was back in 2014, and we had a really wet spring, and I think it caused the ponderosa to produce more pollen. It's like, you know, that yellow, like you see it if we had a rain storm.
Totally.
Yeah, you see it in the puddles. And it was wild, man. I was sitting outside the bunkhouse. I think I was just like grilling up some dinner, and we had a storm come through. It was kind of swirly winds, and it was like swirling that pollen, and I was just like, I don't know if I should be breathing all this in, man. It was so thick. It was like cloud after cloud was getting, and it was cool to see because then, like, you know, a big branch would kind of like sway and then bump another one, and it just like rain pollen, and then it would get swirled up, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
That's cool, but I'm going to go inside.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't have any allergies, but I think this is going to be bad for my sinus.
Yeah, right.
My little baby sinuses.
Wake up stuffed up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a pretty cool phenomenon. Myself and the other lookouts were talking about it early season. So we had some early storms, and they were driving clouds of pollen. So you just see these giant, like, yellow clouds coming in before a storm. It was nuts. And I left my window open, so I walk over to my desk, and, like, all my paperwork, my keyboard's just covered in pollen. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, God, dude. Yeah, dude.
I did this to myself.
I know, and it's pretty common, though, man, living out here, because, I mean, when I was a kid, I guess, there for a while, I had a 1984 Blazer, Chevy Blazer. So, like, the big full size.
Yeah.
And something happened. Well, I lived on a really, really bad road, like huge rocks and potholes and just gnarly. And I think it just broke the inner workings of it was an automatic window. So, like, yeah, it's like almost like an X thing that kind of drives your window up and down. And that thing had, like, pulled the bolts off the internal door and just slammed the window down. And when it did that, it broke both windows. So,
for
like,
crying out loud.
Slam. And I was like, damn it. So
my mechanism is broke, and now the glass is also broken.
Yeah, inside the door.
Yeah.
It's like, And so like for the longest time I didn't have any windows, so super redneck. And
Chilly winter.
Yeah, oh dude, yeah, because I was driving into the winter trying to save some money, and my folks helped me fix up the. I think my dad actually had to take the internal off and tack weld the window frame back in,
Interesting.
and then took it to the glass guy in town to slide some glass in there. But it was, never happened again because my dad was able to reinforce it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, but all summer long, I mean, I would have left the windows down anyways because I didn't have AC, so like I never rolled them up even if they were in there.
Totally.
So like, yeah, a few of those times where you come in, like you said, everything inside my Blazer was just covered, and I was like, huh. Yeah, but then you just go down the road and it had the back window, just roll the back window down, just get it all to suck out the back and
Air tunnel that thing.
Yeah, air tunnel, just keep cruising.
Dude, that's awesome. So I'm from Spokane, Washington, which isn't too far from here, really. It's
No.
4 hours, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
similar enough that the pollen's not it's not foreign to me.
Yeah.
So we will have like a shot of it each year, and roughly. Some years are worse than others. So
Yeah.
at least I have that where it's like, that sucks, but it's not foreign to me entirely.
Yeah, used to it, and same to like sinuses and everything are used to it. 'Cause I think that's what gets folks too. Is like you get that first wave, like you said, early season, and yeah, I think people walk around puffy eyed and stuff. Like, what happened?
He looks like he's been crying.
Yeah. You
all right? Yeah. I'm here if you need to talk.
Yeah, I'm here. Especially the lookout, man. That's where everyone likes to go and talk.
Yeah, but they like to talk about stuff like chemtrails when they come up. So.
Oh yeah, perfect. Like, yeah. I remember I was on a fire and I was just telling a story not long ago. I can't remember who I was talking to. I thought it was Graham, but I don't think it was. But one of my friends, he's like really down to earth guy. I never heard him say anything wild. And out especially out in eastern Montana, big sky state for a reason. I mean, just sky goes forever.
Totally.
And there's a couple chemtrails out there looking things, and then another one comes over, like the jet will leave in one. He's like, oh man, fucking chemtrails. And he was
fucking chemtrails.
And he was ex-military, and I'm like, wait. Like at first, I was shrugged it off, and I was like looking at him, and I'm like, Well, he's a little older than I am, and like
Sure.
had some more worldly experience because he served overseas, and I was like, what do you know that I don't know?
Tell me more.
Yeah, exactly. Like, should I be freaking out? Like I just kind of was like, whatever. It's probably just vapor, and then he didn't go off on it too much, but then like it always stuck with me. That I was like, like what is that?
Like, I'm no plane technician. I'm not, an engineer or anything like that. But so I had a guy up this year who mentioned the same thing, and I was like, usually I kind of try not to engage with it. But this year I was just like, what do you mean? Sorry, what'd you say? And he was like, chemtrails. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, well, when the planes fly over, they can spit poison out the back and slowly poison us. I was like, what's the goal? He's like, to poison us, to kill us. And I was like, it seems inefficient.
I know.
And he was like, huh. It's like, I don't know. It just seems like a very slow and poor way to do it, and probably expensive.
Yeah.
I had a big argument when the pandemic first kicked off and vaccines were a thing.
Yeah.
I as a family member, and they're microchipping us. And I was like, you know how expensive that would be?
yeah, totally. Yeah, like what would be the point too?
A little bit.
Yeah, I had some trust issues because it was so rushed. So I was like,
and I think it's normal to be apprehensive and to question. I think that's good. But outlandish theories, in my opinion, like that seems kind of extreme.
I know, man.
Like, and if I'm being completely honest, like I've been through the military ringer. I got shots that I had no idea what it was. It's like, what's that? And they're like, shut the fuck up and move. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, if I've got a microchip, I've had it since I was 18.
Yeah, you're doing all right. Yeah, what was the peanut butter shot I always heard about from all my buddies? Like,
yeah.
Is it like
steroid shot in your butt?
Is that what it is? Yeah.
So you get a shot of steroids, and you get in your left ass cheek, and then you're just sore for a week.
Man, they got that going for you. Is it super thick? Is that what they call it? Like peanut butter or something?
I mean, it's not. It's just a liquid solution, but I think it causes some swelling in the injection site.
Oh.
So you walk around and you're a little swollen and sore and whatever. So it feels like you got like a thick paste shot in your butt cheek or something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's really not a big deal. It's like if you've ever had a decent muscle cramp after like a solid leg day where you're doing split squats or something like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of similar to that.
Oh, really?
But in one cheek.
Yeah.
So it's like
almost like someone like hit you real hard, like like a Charlie, like what do you like a dead arm or something.
Totally.
That, like,
yeah. So if you work it out enough, which you do in training, it goes away fast.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, work it through.
Yeah.
That's like well, even like going to Africa, I think you gotta get like 8 shots or something. I was like, I'd like to see Africa, but I don't really want to get that many shots.
There was a pretty good cocktail for our Africa deployment. I don't remember what all it was.
Oh, you went to Africa?
Yeah, I went to Liberia on deployment. Do you remember the Ebola crisis?
Yes.
So I deployed with a group out of Texas for that.
What, like, that's got to be one of the scariest missions I've ever heard of.
I mean,
like, I read the hot zone, so Ebola's always freaked me out.
That's fair.
Yeah. Did you ever read that book?
I did not, but I need to add it to my list real quick. You've been giving me some great recommendations.
Yeah, that one's a good one because it's like, I think it's all true. And they were talking, like, there was they're racing to try to figure out what the deal is with Ebola and how to cure it or at least treat it. And there was some, like, close calls in like, the lab at the CDC. And, whew.
Like, certainly. I mean, we were fortunate. What did we have, like, a single confirmed case here?
Yeah, I think so.
But I think our...
So you went over there to... What they have you guys doing?
We were educating public, and we were trying to build facilities to help combat the, like, huge exploding growth of the virus.
Oh, dude.
But, like, here, in most communities, there's a pretty good educational base for, like, if you're sick, stay away from people.
Yes.
Don't throw up in a stream, like, that kind of stuff. I mean, is that going to happen no matter where you are? Probably.
Yeah.
But I think because we kind of have a culture of already, like, you're gross, you need to stay in bed. That's just not the case for a lot of people. And some folks don't have the option.
Yeah.
Their day must go on anyways. But if they're bleeding out most orifices and walking through a river on their way to do whatever daily task they have, it just spreads like wildfire.
Yeah, totally, man. Because that was part of the book was this fella, and I wish I could remember more of his background, but I guess when you read the book, you'll find out. He
looking forward to it.
Yeah, they were trying to maybe track to this cave that he'd been exploring, and cause I think he was on like a date with a gal, and I don't think she got it, but he got it, and he wasn't feeling very good, ripping headache, and had to get on this plane to go somewhere. And maybe he's flying to like a bigger hospital because maybe somewhere real remote. I don't remember why he's on the plane, but yeah, it's like you said, all of a sudden, like just the blood, out of his eyes, nose, mouth, ears, everything like that as a whole, was bleeding.
And that would be terrifying.
Oh, dude. Yeah, imagine being like on the plane next to that guy. Like,
oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom for the rest of this flight.
Yeah, I'm going to go lock myself in the bathroom and
good luck.
Maybe just wash my mouth out with some hand sanitizer and put it in my nose. I don't know, like try to kill whatever, you have if it's on me.
I had another
awful experience.
Yeah, right. That just reminds me. I had another talk with, I think, a family member, and they were kind of like, well, who needs to wear a mask on a plane? I was like, honestly, I prefer it. It's gross in there.
Yeah, I know, like, because I know they say they got like filtration systems, but like, it's still like.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, in a tube.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a tube for a long time.
Yeah. Like, and man, there was I think there was like a video of that, like showing like a cough, and they had like the cough was like green, you know. And I'm trying to think about what it was.
I think I've seen exactly what you're talking about.
It was like or something. It's like you wonder, like, does that, especially being like the water particulates in the cough, like you wonder if it's like, if it does hover a little bit because it's got a little more weight instead of getting like sucked up into the air system. So I don't know. Maybe we're freaking people out for no reason, but
panic.
Yeah, panic.
No,
don't breathe on a flight.
I think it's just a personal thing too. Like, I guess it wasn't that hard a transition for me, years ago to wear a mask. But at that point, I was like, it was a year, whatever it was. I had just started going back to college. So I was kind of like sitting in a classroom, so it didn't really matter. I mean, the gym was kind of frustrating because they're like, you need to wear a mask. I'm like, I'm trying to run on a treadmill.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude.
But you try your best, if you're just, well, I'm doing a weight, circuit. That's fine. I'll try to wear the thing. But sitting in a classroom, flying on a plane, whatever, it's like, it doesn't really affect me that much.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, especially on a plane and stuff, man. Like, yeah, whatever. I wish they had like better masks though. Like when the data came out that like, well, people were doing like bandanas and stuff and like the little neck thing. And it's just like, I wish there was like a better thing going on. But or like a long time ago, I was thinking about this because can't remember if it was one of my chem classes or one of my friends who was going to med school was talking about how like, UV, like, outdoors there wasn't much transmission because UV, it kills most viruses. Well, I don't know. I'm talking way out of my realm here. But I was always like, why don't we have more like UV lights in, especially like hospitals, in colleges, on planes, where like transmission is pretty high, Like maybe, I don't know, maybe it's like too powerful and it's going to hurt your skin if there's, like too much UV light. But
maybe.
I was like, why? Like even just like, not all of them, you know what I'm saying? Like every 4 of those like big, whatever the heck, overhead lights is like all UV,
Interesting.
in a hallway. That's what my thought was. So it's like you're passing through them, but you're not like getting blasted the whole time.
Sure.
But I'm sure someone way smarter than me has already like, put a bunch of holes in that idea. So
I mean, yeah, it's kind of interesting to look at as a hypothesis, but I wonder if it's a combination of factors for like outdoor, whether whatever virus or sickness like can't survive well, and whether that's like open air, UV, all these things in conjunction.
True,
that create
temperature and stuff.
Yeah, that create that specific scenario where you're just not going to be able to replicate it very well inside.
Yeah, and it seems like besides like those bacteria in the hot pots in Yellowstone, like most bacteria seem to do better at colder temperature, like cooler. So
yeah,
maybe the heat too, like in the summer, because less people getting sick in the summer.
True.
Well, outside more. Man, the summer cold are the worst though.
Yeah, totally.
Oh man,
I've been fortunate. I've avoided it. So Doc, who was with us on the first time I was on your podcast, he came up to visit this year, which was super cool. Him and his sister swung up for a couple days, but he was sick as hell, and I was like, oh.
Did you catch it?
I did not.
See, I was going to talk about that just a second ago too. Like, you're you're a pretty healthy dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, but well, you can get a lot of sunshine. But I'm wondering, that was one of the things, in the pandemic before the vaccines were around, is like people are just talking about like trying to load up your natural defense, vitamin D and zinc and I'm trying to think what else, like vitamin C.
Vitamin C is a big one.
Yeah. Vitamin A maybe. But yeah, like, get your vitamins on point, get your diet on point, rest. And I mean, is that what you're doing? Is that how you defend?
So that is very typical to hear for, right?
Yeah.
Immune defense. And I do like to, so it kind of started when I first started firefighting, and you go fire camp to fire camp and they're disgusting. And one of the senior firefighters was like, he had a pack of vitamin C, like gummies.
Yeah.
The orange ones. And he was just handing them out. And then Scott Bogan, our foreman, it was, I think it was the first assignment of my rookie year. And like 7 days into this assignment, and the camp in Hamilton was just disgusting. People were very, very sick.
Whoa.
He had us kind of lined up. I don't know if we were just like sitting around the trucks or what. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The whole crew's sitting there, and he just walks person to person, and he's got a box of emergency.
Yeah. I haven't seen that in a while.
And he handed one to each guy, and he was like, eat this, eat this, eat this. So it's just 14 dudes choking down orange powder.
Yeah, dude.
But anyway, that kind of started my love affair with like, oh, I should really get some supplements. So these days, I do take a vitamin C supplement that's way more than I would ever need in a day. And then I take a men's multivitamin supplement.
Oh, good.
And it's all like a lot of the vitamins that you listed. It's A, multiple Bs, a little bit of C, potassium, a bunch of other stuff. And I mean, I just find them at Costco and they're pretty generic. But
yeah,
I think that helps my immune system kind of stay pretty robust. And I'm pretty fortunate that I don't get sick that often. It's usually like once a year.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a baby about it now.
Yeah.
If I get the sniffles, I'm like, I'm dying. I need to lay down for 4 days.
I know. My wife and my mother-in-law were giving me a hard time about the man flu. And I was like, you guys.
It's real.
Yeah, you guys are lucky you don't have a Y chromosome. It's so much harder on me.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Can you get me water, please?
Yeah, it's like, I'm dying. I'm like, oh, God. I'm trying to stay away from everybody. I'm like, the man flu's real.
I don't know what it is. I think it's part of it for me is almost like an emotional journey too, where I feel so off of center, it screws with my emotions where I'm like sad about it too.
I know, me too.
And it kind of compounds. Like I feel really bad.
Yeah, and like for me, I always have stuff I want to do. Whether it's like, fixing this thing up or interviewing somebody or editing a podcast. Like, this is not my normal 9 to 5. Like, But the normal 9 to 5, working for the Forest Service, it's a good job and it's fun, but it's not like mentally taxing. And a lot of times I'm by myself, so like, or I can be like if I'm sick and I don't have enough sick leave, like I can like hike up to Medicine Point or hike out to Too Good or even like collecting fees. I can do it by myself if I have to. Like where I'm not exposing someone else to whatever funk I have.
Absolutely.
And but yeah, like if I'm really sick, I'm stuck inside. I'm just like looking at the Airstream and like looking at all these things I want to do, and then the brain fog is so frustrating. So I'm like, oh man, I can't focus on anything. And
yeah, I think that's frustrating too. Like aches and pains, feeling way off center, not feeling as strong, and like naturally just sitting around, like you have an idea of what your body can do, and knowing that you're considerably limited in that capacity, and then how much effort it takes to think through the most basic stuff.
Yes.
I need to cook dinner. And then you get halfway through and you're like, I didn't take any ground beef out of the freezer. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, damn it. Yeah, because I'm having noodles. Yeah. Like, and for me too, I'm always trying to keep weight on, like, how, because my Crohn's, I'm like, always losing weight. And then the meathead in me is like, damn it. I got on the scale, I lost like 2 pounds. I'm like, God.
No.
Yeah. And I think, and I don't know, I'm a little older than you, I think, so I don't know if you had this, but were GNCs around, like supplement stores, GNC, when you were younger?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they might still be around.
Spokane that I still go to.
They might still be around. And
they're dying fast.
They are, man. I even like bodybuilding.com. It was like a cheaper place to go, and it was just easier being in Whitehall, being rural Montana. Like you just go online, order like a stack, and for folks who don't know, a stack would be like pre-workout, your like during workout, your post-workout, and like a protein, and then maybe even like a vitamin. So I was doing a lot of those, and they're pretty cheap. And in college, and when I first started, like half my fire career. So I think that's part of the reason why I didn't get as sick, because like one of them was this ZMA, so it was like zinc, magnesium, and I can't remember what else, like B12. And you take it at night, it helps you sleep, helps your muscles recover. So like that, and then like your post-workout typically has like glutamine, vitamin C, and potassium, and a few other things that are like really, really good for recovery, for muscle recovery. I'm trying to think what else is in there, but, there's just some good stuff to, like, feed your muscles after you get done working out. And just being a meathead, I was just taking this stuff, because it made me feel better. And I felt way healthier. I didn't get sick as often. I was drinking more green tea back then, I think, too. But, yeah, it's such a good one. But now I built a little stack on Amazon, did the same thing, like found like the ZMA and like the post-workout, the, glutamine and then, a good protein, went with the Jocko protein. So easier on the digestive system, because my guts could not handle like the Costco giant bag of whey protein anymore.
Yeah. And honestly, that's what I'll do more often than not, is if I just find a bag at Costco, I'll go through that. Yeah. I mean, a bag is twice the volume of the can that you can get even at like a GNC. As much as I kind of like that store, it's like, ooh, that's cost effective.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, and back when GNC was really thriving, early 2000s or whatever it was, it was kind of cool because they had little samples sometimes. So if you're like, stop in and the person working was pretty cool. They had these little like plastic cups, and I remember just passing through one time. I was going to Butte, and there was one in the mall there, and I was going to work out, and I had some pre-workout at my house or something, so I didn't want to buy another one. So I was like, just going in, I'm like, do you guys have any samples? And he like loaded me up, and I was like, awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. I was just looking for like one, but it was like, oh, it's great because it's going on a longer trip. It also gives you a chance to like try stuff and see how you do with it,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you might find something you really like.
Yeah, totally, man. And but yeah, I think that helped. And then when I was on especially 20-person cruise, I was constantly doing like, I had myself a little like med kit of just for like the camp crud or some kind of summer flu.
Yeah,
camp crud could be real bad, and that's usually a sinus attack,
Oh, it's disgusting.
It is.
Yeah, that stuff is nasty.
It just runs through a crew because they're all mashed together.
It runs through a crew, and it I don't know what it is about the way like a sickness mutates in a camp, but it is usually the worst headache, really nasty feeling in your guts, really plugged up, like weakness. It's weakness. All the worst parts of a sickness usually.
It's like a nasty flu.
Yeah,
and it just like breeds in fire camp.
So I'm curious, you mentioned that you had your own little contingency plan for that kind of stuff. My introduction to it when I was a young dude was like, here, eat this vitamin C.
Yeah.
And wash your hands once this week, please.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Hand sanitizer.
Yeah, right.
Like we had one medic just hand out little things of hand sanitizer.
That was a staple for us in Africa.
Yo, I bet, yeah.
Yeah. We kind of had, our facilities were kind of janky sometimes, so we had like a big bucket set up, and it was just bleach water.
Oh.
You'd wash your hands, and like, I swear to God, they'd like crackle and dry away. Like, ugh.
So painful, man.
Yeah, and just kind of gross feeling.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, your contingency plan, your med kit for keeping away the camp crowd. I'm curious what you had in it.
Yeah, it was, I think I'm missing a few things I had. But there was usually, it was funny because I didn't even mess with anything like Dayquil or anything, which probably might have been a little easier, just like the tablets. But
Sure.
it was emergency, big pack of those things.
Totally.
And then a sinus rinse, like a neti pot.
No way.
Yeah, and
That's a great idea.
that really helped because it would keep it from like, it would kind of contain it to my head, and then I'd just keep rinsing the sinus out so I wouldn't get the chest congestion that usually, because usually a lot of times it'll, like, at least on me, it'll migrate from my head to my chest, and then it's harder to get rid of.
Totally.
So I kind of stop it there, and then probably back then the Mio energy drinks, like little Mio splashes. I think they're still around.
remember that stuff.
Yeah, I think that helped because I just hammer those all day and just like power through.
One dude's like, water tastes bad.
Yeah.
We need to add something to it. I want my water to taste like soda.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, why are you drinking just disgusting plain water? Make it taste good. That's how those commercials were too.
Totally, yeah.
It changes everything. And they're like changing as they're splashing it in. It was a funny commercial though.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous, man. I mean, it's weird. It took off. It kind of like, I think it kind of paved the way for like, you have electrolyte boosters and stuff like that you can add to water now. And my ex kind of got me hooked on that, where I was like, oh, these are really good.
Totally.
And it can stretch your water too. If you have a limited supply, which I do during the summer, and I want to stay hydrated, I can sip on one of those over the course of a day, and I will drink a third amount a fourth maybe that I would to stay hydrated normally and like naturally.
Yeah.
So kind of cool.
It is cool. Yeah, totally, man. I feel the same way because I got a giant jug that I carry around with me all day long.
Yeah.
And, but also, if I'm going on a hike, though, I can definitely feel like my muscles are, getting more twitchy, more crampy, and just a little bit of. I've been using the, was it Hammer supplement out of? I think they're out like Whitefish or Kalispell. Hammer gel. I'm trying to think what. Yeah, you can get it at the good food store, man. It's just the tabs. It's like the Nunes tabs.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
And-
I have seen those.
Yeah, really good and a little more natural, I think, than like the Nunes. I don't mind the Nunes either. Like they're pretty good. I just I'm supporting local, so I go with the Hammer ones, and I think they're just Hammer gel. Really good, but yeah, same. Like the emergency kind of helped that part of it with electrolytes because, as you know, Gatorade, I would never really drink it. It was just too sweet, even like watered down.
Mm-hmm.
But on a few fires in the Southwest where one, for example, was 110 degrees on average, and so plus or minus each day. And I was running saw, and the first day, the first day I was fine, but then, you get deficient. And so the next day is way worse. And I wasn't thinking, felt all right, and then, man, about 10 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden I had claw hands and I couldn't let go of the saw. And I had to like kind of throw it. And then I just like used my knuckle to turn it off.
And we've got a heat cat.
Yeah, I was like, and then like the crew boss, I'm trying to remember who it was, like saw me, he's like points at the shade, and he's like, get over there.
Sit down.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to. And no one likes being that guy. By yourself in the shade with the Gatorade, just like pissed.
In your claw hands.
Yeah, in my claw. Like, I would rather be running the saw,
Yeah.
Plus, make the day go by slow as hell. Like if you're running the saw, the day flies,
Right. Yeah, if you're sitting in the shade, you're going to be embarrassed, and it's going to be a long day of being embarrassed.
Yeah, the shame. That's what it is, man. Yeah,
the absolute shame. When your hands start working again, you spin weather.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
No.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude.
My first introduction of the claw hands was my rookie year. We did like a 10-hour line dig, and we got a fire right at the end of the day. We were packing up, and it was super green crew, so everyone's really, really tired after this line dig. We're like dragging our gear back towards the bunkhouse, and our engine foreman come running out, and he screamed at the crew and then at his engine guys, and he's like, "Get back here, we have a fire." It's like,
oh no,
people just heads down, dragging their gear back towards the truck.
Yeah.
And yeah, by the time it was a grass fire, so it was ripping. And by the time
okay.
we got on it, we got 500 feet into a line dig, and one dude just all claws.
Oh no.
Poor guy.
Ah, it's awful.
Yeah.
Just like locks down and your just forearms are pumped. You're like,
I know. He's just, at that point, he's just kind of like walking behind the smaller and smaller crew, digging line. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
But this is me now. You know? Oh, that's awful.
I'll cheer you guys on.
It takes forever to catch back up. You know, like after lunch, I finally talked my way back onto the saw, and I was still having like little, like, you know, like the little those convulsions where you just kind of clamp down a little bit, and I was like still slamming water and Gatorade, and yeah, I didn't really reset until the next day.
I've been pretty fortunate. One of the things that they did in Georgia for training was every meal you had to drink like 2 pints basically of Powerade or Gatorade.
Oh, yeah.
And I hated it at first. Same kind of thing. It's sugary and it's gross at 7 a.m. when you're trying to eat breakfast or whatever time it is.
Yeah.
So I hated it, but that kind of set me on the right track. Easy transition to fire where it's like, I should probably drink Gatorade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah, that's what we end up like doing a crew, rule, I guess, you know, is like 2-to-1, like you said. Like,
Yeah.
first thing, you know, drink 2 bottles of water, use like a quart or so, and then make sure you get 1 Gatorade. And it was like mandatory before we're on the line. Like, you know, and each squad was responsible to make sure we did it because over 100 degrees every day was starting to zap everybody.
Yeah, and it sucks. Like, I know that it's not some people's favorite, but it's like, well, chug it then.
Yeah,
Get it over with.
That's how I was too, man. Ugh.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but if you've ever been at the end of a long day and you've drank one, it just feels good.
It
even
does.
if the taste doesn't necessarily match up for you and you're like, this is kind of gross.
Yeah.
The feeling, though, it's like, ooh, okay, I did need that.
Yeah, totally, man. During rookie training, I was doing a lot of coconut water, and I think I'd kind of been on it a little bit, but my rookie bro, Justin Johansson, was like all about it. And so like we got in a routine, and it was mostly from him. He's, you know, like go sit in the Methow River, you know, which was like fresh runoff, you know, so it was super cold.
Mm-hmm.
So we get in our flip-flops and shorts and sweatshirts because it was, you know, early season and it was freezing.
Yeah.
And then we get like a tall can of coconut water. We just sit in the river and just like kind of exhaustingly giggle, you know, for a while,
Right.
and just like, and then stumble out. And man, it was like you said, you felt so much better just from like a coconut water from all the potassium and stuff and that, you know, so.
Yeah, that's been one of my favorites too. That was kind of an acquired taste the first time I tried it. I think I expected more coconut and less water.
Yes. Yeah.
First time I tried it, I was like, these are gross.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, to power through a few, and then you start to really enjoy them. You're like, this isn't bad.
Coffee, beer, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a normal experience at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to like it at first.
Yeah, I know. That's a weird thing, man. Yeah, I don't think anyone, like, at least that I know of, grabbed a beer and was like, yeah, you know?
No, I think looking back on probably the first times I drank, if I'm remembering correctly, it was a real rough road.
Yeah,
A lot of half-finished beers, if that.
Yeah, same. I was like, I'm here for the hang mostly then, you know?
Yeah.
And it's funny, I've kind of reverted to that since, you know, quit drinking to go back to school and then for my gut health. And, like, if I even have, like, a sip of beer now, it's just like, did they change the ingredients in this, you know? Like, even, like, a local brew that I used to, like, really enjoy. I'm like, like, this is, yeah.
Why does this taste bad?
Yeah, totally. And I always thought, like, I'd come back to, like a really good bourbon or whiskey or, like, a wine, you know, something to, like, sip on when my guts felt better and stuff. But, like, yeah, even that, I mean, it's, lost the flavor for me.
I think with you two, you're very careful about your gut health, and I think
I'm a sensitive boy.
I'm a sensitive boy. I feel like it's because that's so foremost to you that you're like, oh, this could potentially screw up my stomach and it doesn't taste that good, I'm out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly, man. Anything that's not like benefiting me, I'm cutting it, man. Like right now I'm drinking yerba mate because coffee was potentially, you know, making me feel worse. And it was a little bit the acidity, I think was throwing my guts off a little bit, and then find out that it might be leaching some iron from me, you know. So
yeah, when we talked about that the other day, that was an interesting conversation. I was like, ooh, I want to look into that more.
And now I got to look into it more too.
Like we had talked about my diet and how I cook food is like, I'm pretty fortunate that I don't lose a lot naturally. So I think I can kind of roll with drinking too much coffee. I need to cut down, but
No, totally. Like, and that's what I read is that if you don't have any anemia, like the amount of iron it might be stealing from you and the polyphenols in the coffee or tea is like a non-issue, you know. But for me, since I'm barely have any iron in my system already, like the little bit that I might benefit from, like a steak, is getting raw. Especially if they said within like 2 hours of consuming a meal and you have coffee, which typically everyone has coffee first thing in the morning right with a meal.
Sure.
So like it's just kind of keeping all that from absorbing my system. So I was like, well, just cut that guy out, you know.
Certainly.
Move on to something else. But I wasn't much of a coffee drinker until really the end of my fire career. Like I do more of those Mios and stuff because it was kind of a time thing, and also I didn't really like coffee that much. You know, like you said, an acquired taste.
Oh yeah.
And I always loved the smell of it, but like a pre-workout or an energy drink or something, like it's like energy like that, and you don't have to drink as much of it. Like where coffee, I felt like I was having to drink some cups, and even on like a light roast that has more caffeine, you know, I'm drinking like, you know, a full one of these things or two of them,
Yeah.
and I'm getting a little bit of a elevated mood and energy. But like with like an energy drink or even like pre-workout, especially the Jack stuff back in the day,
Oh my gosh.
tiny little scoop, man, ready for the day, you know. Yeah, exactly. With that stuff, you totally could have.
It's insane.
Like, there's some components of meth in this.
I would not be surprised. I remember being a kid basically and taking that before the gym and just
It felt dirty.
I was just gonna say I felt gross. Like if I'm being completely honest, I did feel hyped and I did get a good workout that day, I'm sure. But I do remember feeling disgusting to the point where I was like, I don't think I want to do this.
You got like shark eyes. Your eyes are like super dilated. You're like, I'm here to throw some stuff around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move all the weight.
Put it all on there. I'm gonna do it all. I'm
just-
squatting everything.
At this point, I'm too old to have that mentality. Like I get hyped for my workouts and I'm very happy about it. But somebody asked me what my 1 rep max was in the last 6 months, and I was like, I haven't done a 1 rep max in years, and I don't care.
No,
I want to be strong and I want to be able to move my target weight basically for sets. So I don't really care about a 1 rep max anymore. I don't need to lift the back end of a car. I'm not worried about it. And as long as I feel strong and I can move the weight that I think is appropriate, like that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, not injure yourself. I'm with
Certainly.
you, man. Yeah, that 1 rep. Like last time might have been like one of the last times I tried to do 1 rep max. I had 315 or 320 on. It was three plates on each side and maybe a little more. And like I didn't have and this is dumb, I didn't have wrist straps on or any kind of wrist support, and you know how heavy it is. Like
Oh my
the
gosh.
bar, I think someone had been doing more weight than me because I think the bar had a little bit of a bow in it, so it kind of rolled a little bit.
Yeah.
And as soon as it rolled forward, I didn't have enough strength to hold it, and at one point it was just my thumbs, so it came off. And luckily, it wasn't that far off my chest, but
That's good.
I'm pretty sure it popped a rib out of place, and I was like stapled to the bench. I was like, oh,
Oh yeah, and if that hits your chest, you're not going anywhere. And what sucks about that is I don't know a lot of guys that can curl 320 pounds.
no,
So you need 2 dudes to run over and basically squat that weight off of you. And that's another reason I work out alone a lot.
same.
And it's like, I'm not going to do that. We're going to be doing dumbbell press.
Yeah.
And I think the most I've gotten up to is like 120s. And even that was like, I don't need to do this.
Yeah, totally. One in our in Whitehall, our weight training coach, Mr. Welch, is also our football coach, and unless we were doing a max and we had a spotter, he didn't want you using clamps, and is because in case you're in the gym by yourself, and I was like, yeah, all right, whatever. And it was more lazy for me, like not having to put clamps on, because it was the old school metal ones that weigh like 5 pounds each or something. They're pretty heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And but they're awesome, and
They work.
yeah, they work great. And so like I'd never put them
Keeping you
on.
trapped on the bench.
Yeah, and I never kept them on though. And I remember one time I was in the weight room late at night after high school, and I stapled myself, so I was pinned, and I was like looking around, and I was like, can I roll it? And I was like kind of stuck, so I just like leaned to one side, let the weight slide off, and it slammed the other. Yeah. And it's loud. It was super loud, but lucky it was just me in there. Still embarrassed, but I was like, well, at least I'm not stuck here all night.
Yeah. And I think I got to the point too where I would bench alone, but the most I would do alone is like 145 on each side. Super light, super easy,
Yep.
not life-threatening.
Yeah.
But I remember burning out. I was still in the military when this happened, and I burned out, and it was just like sitting on my chest. And I was like, I will work up the energy to get this off of me within the next 60 seconds or so.
Yeah, just
I was just sitting there, and some poor dude came sprinting over and like pulled it off. He's like, "You okay, bro?" I was like, "Yeah, like appreciate you, but
yeah, just doing a pause rep. Yeah,
it's like I'm just burning myself out. Hit muscle failure, obviously, but
yeah.
thank you."
I know, and that's a really good workout too, because that's what I've been doing more too in the last
Mhm.
like I don't know, shoot, it's probably almost 10 years now. But like, I'll put a little bit of weight on and get a little uncomfortable, but like then I'll go back down to just 45s on each side, and I'll shoot for 20,
Yeah.
and throw a pause rep in there too, and a few of the did you ever do like negatives where you're like you go full extension, go as slow as you can to bring it down to your chest.
Love that.
Yeah, it's a really good workout. So like,
It is.
man, without a lot of weight, you could do a really good workout, really good chest workout.
You can get fantastic workouts that way.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot safer than me trying to bounce 300 pounds off my chest.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people fall into that when they're trying to put up huge numbers, where this has been forever ago, but in high school, I was watching this runner kid kind of try to keep up with some of the football bros. And I was athletic, but not an athlete. So I was kind of had this weird outside vibe of like, I'd live with the football guys, and then we had this runner kid join our little station, and he wanted to work out with us. I'm like, all right, fine, yeah, you can work out with us. But watching him try to keep up and do the craziest things with his bench, where he would do that and like drop the bar so fast down to his chest and try to pop up.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Try to get a little bounce help.
My ribs hurt for you.
Oh, yeah.
Stop.
And especially on a little skinnier fella, like that might be hitting your spine. Just going right through. But we had that a little bit too, and I think it's important for long distance runners to lift. My brother's a long distance runner, and
I agree.
My little brother, but yeah, like but
being a well-rounded athlete.
Yeah, and helping all the stabilizer muscles, to help keep from injury. But like you don't want the bulky, so you shouldn't be going super heavy. I don't think.
Yeah.
And
I think, again, I don't really have a horse in the race of like trying to specialize as an athlete. I just like to be active.
Same.
So the stabilizer muscles that you mentioned, that has become huge in the last like 3-ish years for me. So like late 20s, early 30s, all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I want to do like more agility workouts and like work the lateral muscles of my legs to make sure that I can continue skiing, snowboarding, hiking with no issues at all. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, when I was first getting into fire, P90X was a big thing. And then the insanity workouts.
Yeah,
and those are
those.
Yeah, those are great, man. I love them. Like my friend had the, I think with insanity they'd send you like the file too after you bought it, if you bought like the high end thing. Oh, so he was able to share it with me, and
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, unfortunately the files are too old to like play on a computer anymore, but it was great, man. I used a few of those insanity workouts to get ready for jumping, because like you said, a lot of it was like lunges and core and man, that really helped, dude, because especially when you're having an impact, if you can have as much little muscle, to help, like almost like a little exoskeleton of muscle to help, from getting injured.
And that's huge. If you have a good amount of dense muscle, you are going to sustain fewer injuries on something crazy like a jump.
Yeah. It's because you look at like football players, like the injury rate. I mean, they get injured, but like
certainly the
impact injuries aren't as much if it's not like minus the head, impacts, but like linebackers and stuff. Yeah, protect the noggin, and all those guys who are like constantly like impacting at high speed, and those guys are so fast and so strong. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like me, even like right now, I mean, shoot, if I got tackled by anyone in the NFL, I'd probably be in pieces. But back in the day when I was working out more, it would have hurt, but I would have been able to absorb the impact a little bit better because I was more muscular and more fit and well-rounded, I guess.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, your muscles are stronger, your bones are denser. You can take those kind of impacts and recover easier too.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, one of my friends, and unfortunate for him, but fortunate for me, his name's Matt, and he tweaked his shoulder, and he had to go to PT for it, and I think PT and OT, and so they gave him this really good like shoulder exercise to re-strengthen up his whole rotator cuff.
Yep.
So I stole that and been using it for my routine, and that's my warm-up every day. Like I'll go in and do a shoulder warm-up for every day of the week that I'm working out. And
Excellent. I'm gonna need that.
yeah, oh yeah, I'll show you it. I just use 5-pound weights, just really light, and I think I started off with 2.5s at first, or you can even do it without any weight. You just do like the motions, and it gets wakes everything up and keeps everything strong. Because what I was having is like if I was going into a workout, and even like if I'd start slow on like a bench or anything, I was using like military press, even like pull-ups a lot, like where you're using some of those smaller stabilizer muscles. Even if I warmed up, I wasn't warming up enough, and those little muscles weren't getting enough exercise so that I could pull one super easy or strain one, and like especially in like military press or bench.
Oh yeah.
So I started doing that routine every day, and it worked up my shoulder muscles. So like unless I'm doing something ridiculous, like I don't ever tweak a shoulder anymore. And it's super helpful.
Absolutely. And I unfortunately fell victim to that this year where I was abroad for all of January, and when I came back doing a dumbbell bench press or incline bench, and I was like, I've lifted this weight before, this is no problem. Yeah. And I've been rehabbing my shoulder since.
Yeah.
So
and that's what happened. I think I don't know if it happened to him, but one of our other friends, he was in the military and overseas, and they were doing some higher end supplements when they were over in Afghanistan. And
that sounds right.
Yeah, and maybe they're in Iraq, I can't remember, but yeah, he was doing just ridiculous amount of weight on a dumbbell bench, and went wide and couldn't bring it back in. He said he just watched his shoulder like melt out, and he had like 100-pound dumbbells.
It's like drop, let it go.
Oh yeah, you should have let that sucker go. But you get that amped mentality, you're just gonna like meet it through it. And him and then one of my other friends tweaked his shoulder kind of the same way on like an incline dumbbell bunch, which can be real nasty if you get out of alignment.
Oh yeah.
And so I was like, ooh, we'll watch that now. But then my biomechanics professor was super cool. He took us into the weight room. It was like evening class, so like no one was really in there at MSUB, and I think he was using me as a guinea pig, and he's like had me grab like some heavier dumbbells and go as wide as I could go with being comfortable,
Sure.
And he was like spotting me, and then do a couple reps, and then he had me do like I can't remember, it was like 10s or 15s, something super light, but go like really wide and kind of like arch my my keep a bend in my elbow.
Oh, sure.
And so
almost like a fly at that point.
Like a fly, yeah. And he's like, how's that feel? I'm like, pretty similar. He's like, yeah. He's like, so, like, he's like, I'm an older guy. Like, that's what I do. Like, I'm not throwing a bunch of weight around, but I've been able to maintain my pectoral muscles and strength. And he's like, yeah. And I'm not having to wrestle these bigger weights and have a chance of hurt my shoulder. Because like at my age, I'm not recovering as fast. He's like, so just little tidbit for you guys as you age. And I was like, that's good to know.
Oh yeah, there's serious validity to that. I added cable machine flies to my chest regimen
so good.
Years ago, and I'm a friggin' believer in it. And I've never had a chest day as a younger guy where I was just benching like crazy, where I've had as good a burn as I have with like flies.
100%, man. Yeah, bench is more like the the show, the show workout.
Absolutely.
But then I saw this meme, and it was like, if your dad can't bench 225, you have 2 moms. Damn right. Like at my age, like it doesn't matter. But I was like, oh yeah. So I went and put 225 on just to make sure.
Okay, I can still do it at least once.
Yeah, exactly. I was joking around with this gal. I was on the fire crew in Darby, and I told something came up, and we were talking about working out, and she said something about that, and I was like. She's like, oh yeah, my husband can do 225. I was like, well, how much do you bench? And she just kind of smiled. I'm like, wait, is your kid gonna have, because she's due in September, I'm like, is your kid gonna have 2 dads? And she just like laughed. Like, I knew you were strong.
That's too funny, man.
Yeah, she's super fun. That's the thing I miss about like the fire crew stuff. Like I get to work with them still, and help out a little bit on fire, mostly in prescribed fire these days. But just the hang, man. The hang is so good,
It is a good time. I always appreciate when the crews come up and hang out for half a day, whatever it is, or come up for lunch. And I kind of get the same thing no matter who comes up. They always apologize at some point into it. They're like, well, we'll get out of your hair. We'll leave you alone. I'm like, no, you guys are fine.
Yeah.
Like I go days and days without seeing people, so it's totally fine when a crew wants to come up and bullshit.
Yeah,
I love it. Because talking to very similar-minded, like very calm people who are not going to tell me that the chemtrails are poisoning.
Yeah.
it's nice to have that
coming at you.
Yeah, it's nice to have that shot of normalcy.
Yeah.
You know.
God, it'd be so hard for me not to like let my mind wander on the chemtrail hole up. Like, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But what if it is?
Yeah, what if it is? But yeah, like the
Time is limited anyway.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no one's here forever. But yeah, like not taking anything serious. Like that's the thing that people who maybe on the outside don't see, or maybe even sometimes folks that are in fire don't really like acknowledge it. But it's like you have literal life and death situations all summer long. So it's like you got other stuff to worry about. Even those things you're not that worried. Like you're cutting trees and stuff. Like it's on your mind a little bit, but like you got a mission. You're there for the fire. There for the safety of the folks around you. Number one, safety of you and the folks around you, and especially for your leader. If you like compromise yourself somehow, you can't lead. So it's like taking care of yourself and everybody around you, and then so I think like all this other stuff like gets spun up in the news, and like on the fire crew, like you just don't care. You're like, you joke around. Everything's a joke, and that's the way to be,
Yeah. You need that. You need that comedy relief. And in a job that's like kind of high stress and very physical, you kind of need it a lot.
Yeah.
Couple that with it being a bunch of like, usually it's a bunch of dorky, like early 20-somethings that have not a serious bone in their body, but
are like have a lot of brain power. So like they're super, like most of the time, like they're like real smart. Like some are in college, but like just that like kind of ingenuity and problem solving mindset with also like a lot of caffeine, and some nicotine.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like man, you get like some of those funny, witty comments, and and a lot of times folks are like giving each other a hard time like all day, just joking around, like just zinging each other. It's just like, oh man, see, iron sharpens iron, so they get really quick. And I notice like my brain will be a little slower, and then I hang out with the fire crew, and it starts to like catch back up. And like, oh yeah,
yep,
it's so good, man. And I think it's important, to have that, to be able to like not take things so serious. 'Cause man, otherwise you get so easy to get spun up.
I think it is. It's important, right? And I've been thinking about that kind of a lot lately with the state of things lately, right?
Yeah.
It is important to choose your battles for sure, and you cannot stress and freak about everything that crosses your path, and you have to find a way to do that while also maintaining vigilance, if you will, and being present and paying attention to the things that are going on around you.
100%.
So
yeah, because like I mean, like even like voting, right? Like
yes,
like
go vote. God damn it.
Yeah, and if you're not paying attention, like you don't really know. So you got to be like unplugged but plugged in at the same time.
Yeah,
like
it's important, and look, if I'm being completely honest, it can be really fucking boring, but it is so much in your best interest to go read a little bit, and vote. And that's just one facet of things, right? Like you need to pay attention to overarching things that happen, within an administration, and like all kinds of stuff, right? That we could get into. Try to like skirt that line a little bit. But one of the things that I kind of got the privilege to do this January was we got to visit Dachau concentration camp.
Ooh. And
that was my second time there, actually. And this time I'm with a group of folks who are like on average younger than me, and it's their first time here for all of them. And getting to see the very sobering effect in this group of folks who's never had to do this before. I was like, this was really good for your guys' perspective, and it makes you think a lot about what we see happening in our lives, and it makes you worry more about the direction that we head in, the thoughts that we have. What are we okay with when we see it on a daily?
Not getting caught up in groupthink and doing there was a thing during COVID where it's like, I did my own research, and they showed a skeleton. And it's like, I hated that because like, whatever your research comes up with, I don't care. It's your individual choice, whether you thought vaccines were good, whether you thought they were bad, whatever, because it's on you. And it's like, but you shouldn't just take whatever someone's feeding you.
True.
You should do some research.
You should have a healthy skepticism.
Yeah, healthy skepticism, and cross-reference things. Like, man, you get on like X, and it's just like the feed, dude.
Fuck that.
Oh my god. Like that's the only downside to the podcast stuff, and it's not totally a downside because I've been able to connect with great people. But the little bit of a downside, I guess, would be that I have to be engaged in social media.
You, unfortunately, are going to work in mediums that are going to be messy sometimes.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. For the most, but as a whole, though, I would say like 98% of it's like a good experience. But I'm not that big, so it's mostly just like fire folks that I engage with.
Yeah.
and outdoorsy people who want to enjoy. Like Travis Hall, who I had on a little bit ago about public lands. Like,
Yeah.
he's the editor or might be the editor for Field and Stream. Awesome dude. He even got a shout out on the Rogan podcast not long ago. Yeah, and he's doing this righteous fight of trying to preserve public lands, but not just like at the face value. He, like, on the podcast went into so many different aspects and layers of like the importance of our agencies, like the Forest Service, and like gutting the Forest Service is such a bad idea because it's not just fire, it's not just like timber, it's the fish folks and the botanists and the soil scientists.
I hear we don't need scientists anymore.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. See,
just like
right?
firefighters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's all gonna be AI. It'll be fine.
Don't worry, the AI is gonna be our scientists and our firefighters.
Totally fine. AI will be out there. Yeah. Well, that's like the thing, right? So it's like, man, like stay engaged a little bit, because otherwise, like you mentioned, like it's easy to get into 1940 Germany, and like
it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it happens quick. I'm sure most of those people weren't thinking like,
well, it happens quick, and it's happened here already.
Yeah. So like, man, not to go down a dark road, but cool.
Yeah, I guess it just. I mean, I try not to be negative about that kind of stuff these days, but yeah, it's I think the older you get to, it's kind of easier to like poke holes in your own background and look at. I mean, a lot of people are proud to be in this country. I am too.
Yeah.
But I'm also not afraid to be like, well, I've done some fucked up stuff, guys.
Yeah, totally, man. And like that's, people are so weird now because like if you voted for somebody, you voted for everything, and like they get mad. Like,
yeah.
It's like
why is there no nuance?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I heard people giving, I think it was Cam Haynes and Josh Smith from Montana Knife Company a hard time for like, well, you voted for this, and he's like, I didn't vote for this. I voted for a change, and the things that were sold during the campaign trail were things that I voted for, and then now
you didn't get any of them.
Yeah, none of them came true so far, and then and all this other stuff that wasn't advertised is coming out. So it's like, you should be able to change your mind. Like, even if you voted for somebody, it doesn't mean you voted for everything.
I got to agree with that. And I'm going to basically show my whole ass on this and go ahead and say that I don't like our current administration. I didn't vote for him. And it's frustrating that people did to me. However, I do think it's important to have a little bit of grace in some of these areas, and I love that people are coming out and being like, oh, this was a bad idea and I regret doing this. Good, you should. And I'm glad that you do. And as frustrating as it is that you kind of didn't see this coming a little bit, that we elected a fucking Disney villain.
That's what it's feeling like.
Why we shouldn't be crucifying these people over this. We need to be like, okay, now we need to make a plan to move forward because this is insane. I think I kind of hit my tipping points at the public land sale idea, and I'm glad that there's been so much pushback and that's failed.
Yes,
but I was furious. I was so fucking mad.
Yes.
What do you think is going to happen to all this land that people like me, people like you go and enjoy? There are tons of Americans and freaking visitors to this country who come here for this.
Yeah, dude. And
it's part of what makes it a place that I love.
Yeah, man. And I had a bad dream about it, and maybe it was almost like a vision. Because I being Native American.
Tell me about your spirit trip.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I wish it was
I'm gonna ask you about mushrooms in a little while.
Yeah, exactly. I wish it was that, but it was just like a nightmare, and I was, but it was so real. Like, and it was, we got, especially in the Bitterroots, we have all these canyons that run east west, and great access. And in that vision, the dream I had, it was like there was a gate at each one because
it's someone's driveway now.
Exactly. I was going to say, because some big conglomerate of like super rich people bought the whole mountain range. And I was like,
or you can pay $450 to go for a day hike.
Yeah, dude. I know. Because like that was one of the arguments, and I don't know a lot about it. So I'm talking out of, my ass about this a little bit, but like,
yeah. And that's, I mean, we're speculating.
Yeah.
We're speculating a lot.
Yeah. Especially because like my only, I guess, what would you call it? Like situation that's similar would be like Texas, who has like almost no public land, and you got to pay a rancher to go hunt on their property.
Right. Or know a guy.
And like one of the people's like, well, like you just kind of go whenever, and you buy your, and I was like, it's not the same, man. Like
kind of sucks if you don't know a guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or this, I'm not asking permission, man. I just like drive up to a trailhead and go for a hike, you know?
Oh yeah. Could you imagine having to call a guy and get permission? You get a stamp every time you're like, I feel like hiking today.
Yeah. Oh, you go online like, oh, never mind, it's full today. You know? Like that's probably what
Sorry,
happened.
queue's full.
Yeah, queue's full.
And that's
exactly. Like,
yeah. And in my most horrifying nightmares, it's like a Disneyland park where you have to wait in this line to go for this hike, and that seems ghoulish and outlandish, and it's probably too far fetched to ever happen. But
yeah.
I don't want to see bureaucracy enter this very simple thing that we have that's free.
Yeah.
Where you can go and enjoy your space and your time on public lands that the public owns.
Absolutely.
Hate to see it privatized.
Yeah. Man, I'm with you, dude. Do you ever get the Alex Jones show up in your tower?
Jesus. If I wanted to be angry.
I know. I was just wondering
all
because
the
like
crazy stuff. No, I heard some talking points from him years ago, and I was like, I hope I never see this guy's face. Are we thinking of the same person?
yeah, absolutely. Because somewhere down in the East Fork, it's getting broadcasted.
So no way.
That's why I was wondering if you were getting it, because like there's a dead spot of radio station, and it's like only Alex Jones show.
Interesting.
And,
That's horrifying.
Yeah, like but and maybe he's chilled out at his older age. When I was driving around the other day, I picked it up and I was like, most of the time it's just kind of like like entertaining, but like, and I'm just kind of whatever.
If you can take it, if you can take it with the whole grain of salt, it could totally be entertaining.
Yeah, because he's super intense, so I just kind of like whatever, and but also like hearing all sides of an argument.
Sure.
So like, and he's more on the extreme, but he said something that I was kind of surprised about, because it was like about like the because it was like two sides of the coins. It felt like never Trumpers and all Trump, but even he was like, he didn't like where things were going. I was like,
see, and that's legitimate, and I agree with that. And frankly, the more people who keep getting burned and they have to like reevaluate, and they're like, I'm getting fucked. It's like, yeah, you are.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think more people are opening their eyes to that, because even like I had hope, man, because like there was like these tax cuts and all these things like this that were supposed to happen, and
that's
none of it.
No.
And not to keep kicking this beehive, but
I love beating this dead horse. It's
my
favorite dead horse.
keep kicking this horse. But just seeing him being like, we're trying to have some patience here and trying to hope that his administration helps right this ship, because they got a little more idea of what the public is saying versus him, So
Sure.
they're like, but even like Alex Jones is like, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's not doing what he said he was going to do. So like, we got to keep, beating the drum on the stuff that he had told us that he was going to do. And I was like, oh, well, at least even Alex Jones. So I was like, I guess I'm like, I was talking to Micah about this. I'm like maybe a detrimental optimist. So like, like it's going to be okay. It's going to be fine.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's all on fire, but it's fine.
Exactly. Like the ship's going down. I'm like, it's cool.
And that's, I'm a bit too much of a realist for that. Where I'm like, oh, that's fucked.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll say like, I was reading something, and it's called The Code of the West on Instagram. It's pretty cool, and he just talks about like more of an old school way of like approaching life. And one thing he talks about is like, I wish I could remember the way he phrased it, but it was like, there's so much noise now that you don't get a time to like just think. And I think that's what like one of the benefits of being a lookout is, like, especially if you're where there's no service.
I agree, but also you can be trapped in your own head at that point, and that's terrifying.
Oh, it's true. I've seen a few people go bananas. There was a guy in Northern California who like he was supposed to be in the tower, and he would like show up at another tower, and like they were trying to find him. I don't think anything bad happened, but he was like threatening the other lookout, I think. And
Whoa.
like, yeah, just went off the rails. And I think he was an older gentleman, so I don't think anyone was like too worried about him. But he was like kind of just running around harassing people, and he was supposed to be up the tower. It was strange, and I was like, well, I guess that's the dark side to it, like if you get up there and get spooled up on something,
I think it's important for anyone, but lookouts, especially if you're spending a lot of time with your own company, you need to work very hard on like maintaining your mental health.
Yes, yeah, 100%, man.
Exercise, take showers, shave your face once a while, like cook good meals.
Yeah.
Do stuff that's going to make you feel good.
Yes.
And kind of maintain your sanity.
Yes.
So
100%, man. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, and
oh shoot.
but I wanted to.
Time kind of flew by on that.
It did, man. I know. Like we're kind of circling what this thing. So that's why I was messing with my phone earlier. Like I said, a Q&A that I've been wanting to kind of throw at some fire folks.
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit you with a couple here in a second. But I want to talk about. We were talking about like a 20-person crew, like how fun and awesome it is. And I think it's super important because you get to. It's almost like what probably like Boy Scout camp or something used to be back in the day, where like you're with your troop and you get to go off to like Makajon was one I got to go to in northern Wisconsin, whereas like my little troop was there, and then you get to kind of choose your own story and get to go chase whatever merit badges you want to pursue. And I think a few are required to get to the next level, if I remember right. But it's super cool. You're out in the middle of nowhere woods country, at least felt like as a kid, and you got your team, and you're spend 2 weeks with just your crew, just your boys. Yeah, it's so awesome. And it's the same thing with fire. You know, you got 2 weeks with just your crew, and even more fun because you get some like some gals in there too. So it's not just dudes. And like, man, some of the funnier things I've heard is usually like out of left field. You know, when my friends like my friend Tina will like she just. We'll be just like BSing about something dumb, and then she'll just like throw something in there and just like die, just like didn't see it coming,
Right.
But so crews are awesome. But the one thing I was talking to you about, the one thing that drove me bananas when I was on a crew was the hot mic, man, because it happened the other day.
For a long time.
Oh, dude, yeah. So I was like, I can remember being on a 20-person crew and just like people just screaming hot mic and like just.
To like, the radio that's not keying what they're trying to key in.
Yeah.
When you have a hot mic, you're broadcasting unintentionally, right? And when someone tries to correct that, a lot of folks will try to key in over them and say hot mic. The problem is it does not cut that first transmission because it's still going.
So everybody but them is hearing it.
Yeah, so you're screaming to yourself and those in your immediate vicinity, and everyone's like rubbing their ears like, thanks, man, that was right on my face. Stop.
Yeah, and then people get more keyed up the longer it goes.
Oh, totally.
Just like, oh my God.
I don't know why the reaction is anger. I mean, I know it's frustrating, and you're like, oh, our efficiency is suffering, and messages aren't getting through right now because this dude's talking about Cheez-Its or lunch, or like,
dude.
we had one time where it was a night shift, and people were talking about masturbating for like an hour and a half on a hot mic, and it was like, awesome, cool.
Yeah, it keeps it entertaining. See, like those I don't mind. It's just the other people that are yelling about the hot mic is what drives me bananas. It's like, if it's not right next to you, why are you yelling? Because like they're not going to hear you.
Yeah, and it's just there's no point in getting worked up about it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's inefficient, and yeah, it's like kind of worrisome, especially if there's important traffic that needs to get through. But you being at a heightened emotional state is not going to help you in this scenario. And it's honestly like if it's not life or death right now, which it's not in pretty much all the scenarios that I've been in. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Just like if like you're that concerned about it, you can just like hike around throughout the crew until you find the person and just be like, hey man, you're sitting on your mic.
And we heard that you didn't care for our work.
So. Yeah, exactly. And you're getting yourself the stranger on your days off, man. Come on.
We didn't need to know that.
Yeah, exactly. But good on you. Got some tips.
We're not going to kink shame, but we are going to kink investigate.
Yeah, exactly.
Got some questions.
That's a whole different side of you now, man. It's always the quiet ones.
So that speaking of that hot mic the other day, I had one of the members of our force call me. They were furious. They were fuming
about the hot mic.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were absolutely infuriated by it, and it was just kind of the same thing. I was like, "What do you do?" I'm like,
yeah, like I don't care if it happens. It's just the people who get mad about it. I'm like, why are you getting mad?
And that's kind of the thing. I think there's that's probably an unrelated thing where it's like, oh, there's additional stressors.
Yeah, I think
we're
so
probably
too.
adding to that specific scenario.
Yeah, and then that's like the tip of the iceberg that just like.
I think that's it. I'll tell you about it when we're done.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. Well, let me hit with the Q&A first before we roll out of here. So these are just like kind of some phrases that I've heard around fire, and I think you probably know them, but I want to see like what your interpretation might be, or if you even know what they are.
Sure.
So speaking of like hanging out with yourself, are you familiar with cock sauce?
I'm gonna say no, and it's an easy guess what it would be, and I'm positive that that's not right.
What do you think it is? It's a condiment. It's an actual like food.
Oh, okay, then continue.
Do you want to take a stab at it, or you want me to tell
I
you?
don't.
It's sriracha.
Oh.
So like a lot
I
of
like
people,
it.
yeah. When I was in fire, like when I was doing more of the crew stuff in fire, like people use a lot of sriracha because like
hell yeah.
MREs, as you know, are bland and
That's very generous description of you.
yeah. Oh, dude.
MREs are bland
Yeah.
or stomach destroying.
Or yeah, kill you. So it kind of leads to my next one, I guess. Like people when they grab a brown bag lunch.
Yep.
MRE.
Mhm.
Yeah. And have you heard of the DAG
The DAG.
or DAG? Like just it's a. Do you want to give you a hint?
Sure.
It's a something people carry in your. I'll just tell you what it is because I'm doing a bad job
No,
describing.
you're fine. I don't think I've heard it though.
So like it's called like Medagalo or something like that. I can't remember. But it's like espresso. It's just like instant, a little thing of it.
Oh.
And it'd be like, oh, you got the DAG, and I can't. I should have actually wrote down the actual name of the stuff.
It's the brand, right?
Yep.
No. Okay, I've
It's
totally seen that.
espresso. Usually comes in like a little jar.
Yeah. But dudes, what were they calling them? I was on some huge fucking burn up in Plains.
Oh, and
They were
had
calling
some?
them. Yeah, but they were like eating the shit. So
Oh,
you'd
yeah,
eat the
people do
powder
that.
and then like chug a bunch of water, and they were
Yeah.
calling them dozer shots.
Those are shots.
And I was like,
See, like that's kind of stuff, right?
yeah,
Like,
right. We were like refilling our drip torches, and
Oh,
we're going to this dude's truck, and he's like, "You guys want some dozer shots?" And I was like, "It's like 1,400. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Like, most of the time, at that time, I'm like, yes.
Whatever you're selling, I'll have one.
Yeah.
I'll have two."
Yeah, exactly.
And then he was like, "A dozer shot," and we were like, "I think was it Hanson? It doesn't matter."
Yeah.
I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about," and he he showed me. He just eats a bunch of like
DAG.
yeah, and then chases it with like half a quart of water, and he just wow.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
dude.
all right, sign me up.
Yeah, man, that stuff was so strong, but it was so
insanely strong.
yeah, it tasted not great, but yeah, it got the job done. It wake you up.
It did. It got me through the rest of that back burn.
Yeah, right. Oh man, yeah. Think about burns are some of the funniest things I've ever like been on because like usually they babysit them throughout the night and just weird conversations come out and it's so funny. How about chonies? Chones?
Chones.
You know chones?
No, it makes me think chicharron.
I know, and I don't even know because I've just heard this a few times, and people like talk about their underwear, chones. Like, you got an extra pair of chones?
Oh, okay, that's funny.
So I don't know the origin of that one, so hopefully it's not like anything bad.
I haven't heard that in a minute, and yeah, I don't think I ever used it, so that left the lexicon immediately.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that one always stuck with me because I always thought it was kind of like a funny way to say underwear. And then
Also, don't wear them.
yeah. So I mean, you don't even have to worry about it. So yeah, makes it easy packing, especially you get a small 14 day bag, red bag.
Dude, yeah. Save that space.
Save that space for socks.
What do you need underwear for?
Yeah, exactly. Save it for socks and baby wipes.
More socks, more baby wipes.
Yeah. How about skookum?
Yeah.
You heard skookum?
Yep.
Yeah. For folks who don't know, skookum's usually like you're savvy in something or you're knowledgeable. Like
Yep. He's skookum.
Yeah, he's skookum. Yeah. CNA boys.
CNA boys. I don't think so.
So like the first time I heard it, we were leaving a fire. It was pretty late at night, and it was in good shape. Like it was still hot, but like we were close to the station, or maybe we were just going to bed down. I think we were going to bed down, and one of the dudes who'd been around for a while was like, "All right, man, let's let the CNA boys take over, and we'll get back on it tomorrow." I'm like, CNA boys, so it's just cold night air. Let the cold night air take over.
That's funny.
Yeah, so like we were just kind of like potato patching, they call it, where you just like go around like flipping stuff up and letting the cold air get to it and let it breathe all night. So like in the morning, it hopefully already burnt out whatever fuel was cooking on it, or extinguished itself because of the cold night air.
Let some dew settle. Hopefully the humidity's come up.
Yeah, I was gonna say usually the RH comes up and relative humidity. But yeah, I think I gotta add to my list, but that's what I got so far. So maybe afterwards you can brainstorm with me to get a few more on that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to be completely honest. I expected some like underhanded softball pitches.
Yeah.
What's a roll?
What's a roll?
What you might not think, it's not for dinner.
Oh, yeah, that's actually not a bad plan, man. Maybe have one of those because then it like some of the basic, phrases or acronyms that we use. My first year, I was like drowning in them. You were in the military before you came in, though, so you were pretty familiar probably with some acronyms.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, the bitch of it is everything can be an acronym, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I know, and it feels like new ones are coming up all the time. You're like, you know?
Yeah, we're gonna take the MTV down to the MP, and
Yeah.
then we need to do some TLC.
Yeah. Tender love and care? Yeah. Perfect. Sign me up. Well, shoot, thanks for joining the Airstream, man. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. It was a pleasure. I'm so glad I finally got to see it.
Yeah. Did it live up to the hype at all? Or
Oh,
less?
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, this is perfect. And it's kind of like exactly what I thought it would be, and I freaking love, like, Luke's got new floors in this thing, and they're wonderful. And I could totally see you, like, carting this thing around, and this would be perfect for you to, like, go here, do an interview, crash. Go here, do an interview, crash.
Absolutely,
It's very cozy. It's very cool and very unique.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, you don't see too many 65s going on the road anymore, the old silver Twinkie. Yeah. Well, thanks again, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And thanks, folks, for tuning in.